So, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we have been covering how New York City's stop and frisk policy has been ruled unconstitutional by a federal judge. We also talked briefly on how the New York City Council voted to override a previous veto by New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg on creating an independent inspector general for the NYPD, as well as making it easier for those who have been racially profiled by the NYPD to sue the NYPD. Well, folks, this week Mayor Bloomberg has responded by filing a lawsuit to block those who would like to sue Mayor Bloomberg's self-proclaimed private army, the NYPD. That's right, he wants to block those who claim they were racially discriminated against by the NYPD. He wants to make it harder for them to sue the NYPD. He is suing for the right for the police to be racist. It's a classy move. It's a classy move there, Bloomberg. In addition to that, however, there's actually been a handful of recent big stories about the NYPD that we actually haven't had a lot of time to cover, and we're going to get to a few of them here. So, last week, the Associated Press published another story in its Pulitzer Prize winning blockbuster series on the NYPD's illegal spying on Muslims program. And this one's another big one. It's a huge one. So, reading from the Associated Press, quote, "The New York Police Department has secretly labeled entire mosques as terrorist organizations, a designation that allows police to use informants to record sermons, spy on imams, and often without specific evidence of criminal wrongdoing." End quote. Folks, you heard me right. The New York Police Department has secretly labeled entire mosques terrorist organizations. Terrorist organizations. Do you believe that? And again, what this means, for reading from the AP again, doing that quote means that anyone who attends a prayer services there is a potential subject of an investigation and fair game for surveillance. End quote. How horrible is that? How messed up is that? How un-American is that? But listen to Ray Kelly, listen to Michael Bloomberg. They say, oh, no, the NYPD doesn't racially profile anyone. They don't, oh, no. Except if you go into a mosque to pray, you can be secretly surveilled just for going to pray. Unbelievable. Under this program, the NYPD has sent in undercover agents into mosques. They tried to plant informants on the boards of mosques. They recorded sermons. They actually recorded the wedding of a teacher at one of the mosques. This is a police department that, as we've said time and time again, is out of control. Be it stop and frisk, be it the spying program, be it the treatment of protesters, Occupy protesters, be it all that. This is a police department that is entirely out of control. As if the spying weren't enough, though, the New York Daily News actually had a story about how the NYPD actually physically roughed up some Muslim children last week. So what happened was two female siblings, one 12 years old and one 14 years old, were playing handball in a park in the Bronx, New York. Reading from the Daily News, quote, "The girls said the police approached them and told them to leave the park because it was closed. Police followed them out," the girls said, "and one grabbed Kalia from behind in a chokehold, wrestling her to the ground. They said they asked for ID. I didn't hear them," Kalia said. Lamis said she told the cop to get off of her sister, and the officer's female partner threw Lamis to the ground. As they lay on the ground, the girls, who are Muslim, said the cops ripped off their hijabs, a Muslim headscarf. "They didn't say anything," Kalia added. "I kept saying, 'I'm 14. What are you doing? We're not bad kids.'" End quote. So, These two girls, a 12-year-old and 14-year-old girl, Muslim children, are screaming as they're being assaulted. They have their hijabs ripped off. And their screaming attracts a lot of attention of their neighbors. Neighbors come out, including their brother. Reading on from the Daily News, quote, the girl's brother, Shataiki, I think is how you say it, Shataiki Wilson, who's 15, saw the cops straddling his sisters from his window and raced downstairs. I asked them why my sisters were in handcuffs, Shitaki said. They charged me, picked me up, and slammed me on the floor. End quote. How brave of the NYPD, right? How brave, NYPD, beating up a 12-year-old girl, a 14-year-old girl, and a 15-year-old boy. How brave you are. How brave you must be to beat up children. Another neighbor, an 18-year-old kid, heard the girl screaming, ran to the park and starting to film the cops assaulting the children with his cell phone. Then, a cop, seeing him filming, came after him. Reading on from the Daily News, quote, come here, you little mother effer, the cop said, according to Harris. You like recording? Harris said he sprinted towards a nearby building, but an officer caught him and tackled him, pushing his face in the dirt and wrenching his arm behind his back. He said one officer punched him in his eye while he was down. Where's the phone? The officer screamed. Harris said, I'll break your arm. Harris said he was also pepper sprayed during the melee. End quote from the Daily News. So, just because he was filming the police as they assaulted children, the police attacked him, chased him, tackled him, punched him in the eye, put his hands behind his back, and pepper sprayed him. But let's be fair. Let's do what Mayor Bloomberg and their current commissioner Ray Kelly would want us to do. Let's be fair to the NYPD. Let's be fair. These children, they aren't just children, folks. Oh, no, they're not just children. They are Muslim children. They're Muslim children. Who knows? Maybe some of the same Muslims that they're spying on at the mosques. Maybe that's where they came to the park. They were spying on the 12 and 14-year-old children. Maybe the two Muslim children were playing handball as a ruse, a massive ruse. Maybe they're going to terrorize New York City with their handball. They're Muslims, and if you are a Muslim, according to the NYPD, you are a suspect automatically. Maybe these are children who are under surveillance for praying. Who knows? Maybe they're trying to intimidate their parents. Who knows? The New York Police Department is racist and out of control. I say this because New York City, in case you're not aware, you have a mayoral primary next week. Mayor Bloomberg is on his way out, folks. And who you choose to replace him matters. It really does matter. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but I'd say if you haven't thought about it yet, do take a look at de Blasio. We'll be right back.